Ouch. Hey, this is why the leash is so important, not to keep it. Listen, two things that you have, two, things, two things, two things, two things that people have to remember. How excited is the mind of my dog before I give leash on my dog? So if the mind is too excited, short, not tense. If the mind is calm, surrender, gentle, just give them all the leash you want. But this is clearly what I make people aware. Hey, listen, I'm not saying not to allow your dog to walk in front of you. It's just to avoid, to prevent, this kind of accidents, to avoid and prevent this kind of accidents. Two things.
Whoa, whoa.
How does this dog, how little dog, this is a perfect, I sent this video to Peter because I wanted people to see groups in a perfect exposition of territorial, right? A territorial conversation. Territorial conversation, that necessarily means they're going to go into a fight. They're just reminding each other about a certain invisible line. And a lot of times, and this serves for a lot of people, they're passing by somebody's dog territory, and the dog goes and barks and looks like they're chasing them. I would say 9 out of 10 dogs are being territorial. So when they're territorial, I think you can be more relaxed knowing that, because a dog doesn't really want to bite. It's just saying, this is my territory. That's why I wanted us to watch this video, because you see clearly a pack of dogs on the right and on the left, and there's this invisible line right in front of them that doesn't allow them to fight, because they're not in the vibration of fighting. See, at the moment one crosses the invisible line, which is this white dog, it looks like they're at the border. They're at the border. Well, there you go. See, this white dog came a little too close. So they play like chess, like a chess game, right? One move, the other one move. It didn't work out. They're gonna push him. A group of dogs are gonna move. It's like when a group of cows address a dog, they all move, or a group of elephants, they're all gathered together and they move whatever animal they don't want it to be around. So it's not always a physical confrontation. And this is just part of their expressions. This is part of their homeworks to do. This is things that they do every single day. They also practice territorial communication, not to be seen as a dominant communication or as a fighting communication. That is completely different. The energy is completely different when they're practicing this behavior. So I just want you to see it. Eventually, hopefully one day you experience it, because the energy is different. And always, the way you do this, the way you take care of a group of dogs is you stay quiet, you claim your space, and if you have something that you can move with, or you can take your shirt, move it around. Don't move too fast. Don't move too fast, because patience is what makes you win. Patience is what makes you win, and see when they show weakness, and then you go right in there and start slowly moving them away from you. So it's a mind game, really. It's a territorial is literally a mind game. That's funny, isn't it? That's funny, because it was just a conversation. It's almost like when the politicians are in, fighting for their parties, and they just talk, but there is no physical fight, right? Where you see it, and the Senate, like when they're fighting with each other, it's just a lot of bark, a lot of works, a lot of whatever they're doing. It's even in there is a territorial behavior, is a dominant behavior, which is no physical involvements. It's all mental. For whatever reason, they like to practice it, but in the dog world, this is normal, right? And it was never a fight. Nobody ever went into a fight. And then they got in agreement. They agree with each other, and each of them move away from each other to create the safe peace or the peace from a distance. Ouch! Hey, this is why the leash is so important, not to keep it. Listen, two things that you have, two things that people have to remember. How excited is the mind of my dog before I give leash on my dog? So if the mind is too excited, short, not tense. If the mind is calm, surrender, gentle, just give them all the leash you want. But this is clearly what I make people aware. Hey, listen, I'm not saying not to allow your dog to walk in front of you. It's just to avoid, to prevent, this kind of accidents, to avoid and prevent this kind of accidents. Two things. Make sure you know what the mind of your dog is doing or is feeling, and how much leash you have in front of you. There you go. There you go. All of this pulling, all of this movement, all of this could be prevented. This is a clear example of when the human is somewhere else. It's literally the same way when people are watching their phone and they're walking a dog. It's the same. So a person doesn't have to be in their phone to be somewhere else. A person can just be somewhere else as they walk a dog. And that's why these accidents happen, right? It's not so much that the dog needs to be trained, it's the human needs to be conscious of what am I? I am here in this moment? Do I feel patient, calm, confident, love, joy before I walk my dog? Because when the dog feels that you're not connected, you're not going to be a source of attraction, right? They're not going to feel attracted because you're somewhere else. And your mind, you're somewhere else. Like I say, it's the same thing as if you're on the phone and you're walking a dog, right? It's the same thing. When your mind is somewhere else and you have a dog in front of you, these accidents will continue to happen. So how do we stop them? Well, we become aware of how do I feel right now? And if you don't know how you feel, breathe until you feel super calm. And so much oxygen makes you feel happy, right? Simple as that. It's no more than that. It's literally, you want me to sell you something for you to feel like fast, grounded and connected to your spirit and your instincts so your dog can follow you. Because this is what creates the law of attraction. And the law of attraction creates the law of creation. And then the law of creation creates the law of maintenance. So if you have those three, then you have trust, respect, love. Then the dog is just going to be right next to you because you're creating this energy that makes them follow you. When you're somewhere else, you're not creating the energy that makes them follow you, right? And then you put a leash on it. So then the nose, the eyes, the ears, or situation, can be thunderstorm. Situations can make a dog pull the human. And the human is not expecting it. That's why the human end up becoming out of balance and getting hurt. There you go. Whoa. Wow. Yeah. Oh my goodness, the last one, a flexi leash, you can see it. Listen, the longer, think about it when you're allowing a dog to come out excited and you have a flexi leash, fly ball. So if you watch fly ball, how they release them to go for the ball because they want the speed, that's exactly what happened here. So these people are going to get even a jolt of the leash, right? Because opening the door, the dog is excited, giving them more freedom, and the dog is taking a lot of speed. And of course, by the time that the leash gets tense, it has the speed, the length, and the strength. So the human is going to get absolutely hurt what can I say? Let's be safe. Let's be safe. If you're safe, you're going to be able to enjoy peace. And if you are safe and peaceful, you're going to be able to love. And so you're saying, so Cesar, what should I love about? Well, that you're going to have an amazing walk, that you're going to be able to give the dog direction, that you're going to be able to protect the dog if something happens, right? A bear comes your way, a coyote comes your way, a motorcycle comes your way. It's some kind of anything that you're not expecting. You have to be prepared to give protection. But it starts with direction. And when you walk a dog and you're not aware of how you feel and you're not aware of how the dog feels, it's a recipe for an accident, right? Because you need to be there in the moment. You need to be present with your calm, confident energy because you're taking the dog for a walk. And that gives you access to say, hey, I'm putting my hat of a pack leader. Because you're going to give direction, protection, and you're going to go for a long period of time to satisfy the body and the mind of your dog. So you can then say, I love my dog. Until we understand that Mother Nature and the dog form is divided in three things: the body of the dog, the mind of the dog, the heart of the dog. And if we do those three things, the spirit of a dog is going to be absolutely happy. Because the spirit of a dog, the only thing it wants is to be happy, for you to be healthy, for you to have a good heart, and for you to always have hope. And that's really the legacy that Miss Jane Goodall left us. Hope can never die. But we have to be honorable to Mother Nature, protective of Mother Nature, so we can say that we truly love Mother Nature, and we can say we humans practice a very smart lifestyle. This is about a lifestyle where all humans can practice this. All right, enjoy the video, watch it as many times as you can, because I do want you to learn that life is about education, entertainment, and enlightenment. See you next one. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment, and join me on my mission of better humans, better planet.